Good morning, folks. My name is Hitzemann, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. The purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I'll determine if there's probable cause for those charges. Then we'll set your conditions of pretrial release, that is your bail or your bond. In most cases, you've got a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit, or the warrant which led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be. If you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I'll gladly appoint the PD to represent you this morning. You do have a right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you have not had a chance to make that call, please let me know. We'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, there is an assistant state attorney in the courtroom with me. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. I now need each and every one of you there at the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn. You all solemnly swear or affirm, tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth. Outstanding. When you hear your name called, please step forward to the podium. Christine Dow.
No, Your Honor.
Morning, Ms. Dow. What's your date of birth?
1783.
Ms. Dow, the charge is a violation of a condition of pretrial release. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender, please.
I'll appoint the PD. All right, and obviously you have an open battery case. It's coming back to me. Okay.
Your Honor, may I speak?
You should not, but if you are, convinced that you think it'll help, which it probably won't, because of course whatever you say can be used against you. I'm going to green light you to say whatever you want here, and then the assistant public defender who's sitting in here with me is going to tell you not to say anything. But that's how it goes. So if you want to speak, you can. If you think you better not because you haven't had a chance to talk to a lawyer first, then you can do that, but it's up to you.
Okay, no thank you.
All right, very good. So here's what's going to happen, unfortunately for you, ma'am. On this charge, I'm going to set the bond at $1,000. I'm going to move this to the 31st of October because that's where your other case already is.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And, well, you're not going to thank me in a second. Then the other thing we're going to do is, because job one when you're out on pretrial release is don't pick up new criminal charges, and more importantly, don't violate the conditions of your pretrial release. Pursuant to Florida Statute 903.0471, I'm going to revoke your bond in 18 MM 3213. That's your battery case. We're going to hold you without bond until the end of the month when both of these cases are back. My guess is we'll get them resolved by then, but you're not going anywhere until the 31st of October when you'll be back in front of me. Public defender is going to send someone out to see you before then to try and get your case resolved, okay? Condition of this bond, this case now, is that you do not call or write the victim from the battery. Who is it? Mr. Camacho or Mr. Dow. You do not call or write Mr. Dow from the jail. If you do, you can get more additional charges, so you now have to pay attention to this no contact order. And like I said, you'll be back on the 31st. Thank you. Nancy Everhart?
Yes.
Morning again, Nancy. Date of birth?
12/22, 1966.
All right, Nancy, I have 2 warrants signed by Judge Toner. They're both for violations of probation. Did you want the public defender on those?
Yes.
I'll appoint the public defender. Those will both be coming back the 26th of October. PD is going to come see about all your cases before you go to court, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. That's awesome. Is Sheriff of Liberty?
Your Honor.
Morning, miss. What's your date of birth?
7/11/91.
All right. Ready? The charge is battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Myself.
Okay. State, what can you tell me?
Judge, you have no priors.
Young lady, I have an address for you on Dunkirk Road in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Correct.
How long have you lived there?
A year and a half.
Okay. And does Orlando live there as well?
Yes, but he was staying with his dad.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
Yes, I do have a job.
What do you do?
I work in Leggett and Platt. I adjust beds.
Okay. All right, I'm going to set your bond at $100. However, the condition of the bond is that you have no contact with Orlando. No contact means no contact of any kind. You don't call, you don't write, you don't email, you don't text message, you don't contact him through any social media. You don't have a third person contact him. Don't go where he lives. Don't go where he works. Don't have any contact of any kind. Any way that you might imagine contacting him, I forbid you to do that. If you have contact and we find out about it, your bond will be revoked and you'll be held without bond until the charges are resolved. It means no contact even if he wants the contact, so if you answer the phone and hear his voice, you should hang up. If you're out and about and see him, you should turn around and run the other way. You need to understand that he may not drop the charges against you. That's not a decision he's allowed to make. He may go to the state attorney's office and ask that the charges be dropped. He may tell them that he's not interested in pursuing this matter. But that decision belongs solely to the assistant state attorney who's handling your case. So unless that person or the judge on your case tells you the charges are dropped, you should assume they're not dropped and you should not have contact. In addition, I've got to hold you today up until 4 p.m. so that if he wanted to serve you with a civil injunction for protection against domestic violence, you'd know where to find us. We'd know where to find you. If you get the civil injunction, it's doubly important that you not have contact because in that case, not only would you get your bond revoked here, but you could get new charges for violating the injunction. We'll have you back in court on the 2nd of November. As far as that address on Dunkirk goes, if Orlando is staying somewhere else, you can go back there. If he continues to stay there, you'll have to stay someplace else. In that situation, you could go by one time to collect your clothes, your toothbrush, whatever you need for wherever you plan to stay. To accomplish that, however, you would have to contact the sheriff's office first. They would meet you there with a deputy who would stand by while you got your things and got going wherever you're going. I'll have you, like I said, I'll have you back on November 2nd. Make sure you contact the, you said represent yourself. All right, you're good to go. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Jessica Griswold.
Good morning, Your
Morning,
Honor.
Ms. Griswold. What's your date of birth?
6/23/91.
Jessica, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Rupi. Apparently you failed to appear in her court on a charge of possession of drug paraphernalia. As to that charge, you're going to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Our public defender.
I'll point the PD. State, what can you tell me?
She has a prior child neglect of 2011 and endangering the welfare of a child from 2012. It looks she might have some out of state.
Okay. And Jessica, I have an address for you on Treeman Boulevard in Ridge Manor. Is that where you live?
No, Your Honor. I live in Central County.
Okay. What's the address?
910 County Road, 482 North, Apartment 26.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
Excuse me?
Do you have a job?
I have an under-the-table job. I'm not on papers.
Okay. I'll leave your bond per Judge Rupi's warrant at the $2,000. I'll have you back to see her on the 19th of October. They told you November 2nd. We'll have you back October 19th. If you get out, you should contact the PD right away, okay?
May I speak, Your Honor?
Go ahead.
Is there any way that I could get my bond lowered a little bit to where I can actually get out?
Okay, I just did that. I decided not to, so that's what it'll be. If you speak to a bondsman, it'll probably be 10% of that amount, so you'll have to try to get out on that one, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Cammie Moyer. Morning, Ms. Moyer. What's your date of birth?
7/12/80.
Cammie, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Merritt. He found probable cause for a violation of probation. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender for now.
I'll appoint the PD. Bond on that warrant is no bond. I can't change that. I will send you back to see Judge Merritt. It looks like October 18th. Public defender will come see you before then, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Jennifer Karcher. Want to miss what's your date of birth?
9/10/87.
Jennifer, the charge is possession of controlled substance. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Private counsel.
Very good. State, what can you tell me?
Improper exhibition of a firearm from 2016, a theft from 2017. And that's all I see.
And Jennifer, I have an address for you on Voorhees Road in Newport Richey. Is that where you live?
Yeah.
Okay. How long have you been there?
I've been at that address since 2013.
Do you have a job these days?
Yeah.
What do you do?
Nursing assistant.
Okay. I'll set your bond at $2,000. I'll have you back on October 30th. Make sure when you talk to your lawyer, you tell them about that date, okay? Thank you. Caleb Carroll?
Morning, Your Honor.
Morning, Caleb. What's your date of birth?
10/29/1994.
Caleb, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Merritt. He found probable cause for a violation of probation. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint a public defender?
Public defender, please.
I'll appoint the public defender. The bond on that warrant is no bond. I can't change that. I'm going to change your date. I'll have you back to see Judge Merritt on the 16th of October. Looks like they told you the 26th. The right date is the 16th. And the public defender will come see you at the jail before you go to court again, okay?
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Gabriel Ellison.
Morning, sir.
Morning, Gabriel. What's your date of birth?
10/20/1991.
Gabriel, you have two charges today, a battery being domestic in nature and a false imprisonment. There's probable cause for those charges. It's pursuant to a warrant signed by Judge Merritt. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender, Your Honor.
I'll appoint the PD. State, what can you tell me?
He has a robbery from 2013, possession of controlled substance from 2018, where he received 3 years of probation, possession of marijuana, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Like he's on.
So, Gabriel, you're currently on felony probation?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Right. And the address I have for you is Deltona Boulevard in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
13 years.
Okay.
My grandmother's house.
Okay. And you have a job these days?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
Moving, sir. I work for Cass Mountain Moving.
Okay. Let's set the bonds at $2,000 on each count. Condition is that you have no contact with Miss Braga. Did you hear me explain no contact earlier?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand that?
Yes, sir. I do have a question, though. If I were to want to contact my son, would I just have to try to go through somebody else?
I have no idea, quite frankly, how you'd be able to contact your son without violating my no contact order. I'm not telling you
Okay.
it's impossible. I'm just saying I haven't in 13 years been able to come up with a way that isn't a violation. So it might mean not seeing your son. The other thing I'm going to tell you is that since you're on felony probation, it is a cinch that within the next couple of days there's going to be a violation of probation warrant or maybe even an arrest for violation of probation, and that will have no bond on it. You will not be getting out after you get served with that. So before you spend money bonding out on these charges, you might want to consider that, because if you do spend money with a bondsman and then you get picked up on a no bond VOP, you could be out that money permanently to no effect. But that decision is up to you. This case will be back on the 26th of October. If you stay where you're at, PD will come see you. If you don't, if you get out, then you should contact them right away, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Scott Peterson. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
2/1/64.
Scott had 3 charges today: grand theft, dealing in stolen property, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. There's probable cause for all 3. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State.
Judge, I don't have an entire history on him. I I show some misdemeanor batteries, but I don't have his felonies. They might be out of state.
Okay. Scott, I have an address for you on Sweet Gum Road in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes,
How long have you been there?
10 years.
You have a job these days?
I'm a full-time caregiver for my mother who's on oxygen and in a wheelchair.
Okay. All right. On the grand theft, I'll leave the bond at $2,000. On the dealing, I'll set it at $2,000, and on the felon in possession at $5,000. That's a total of $12,000. They'll be back in court on the 26th of October. It's very important if you get out that you contact the public defender right away. Okay?
Yes.
Thank you. Darrell Thomas.
Good morning.
Morning, Darrell. What's your date of birth?
5/27/88.
Darrell charges battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
All right. Hang on a second. I'll appoint the public defender. State what can you tell me?
Yes, battery and detention facility from 2005, a second battery and detention facility from 2005, inciting a riot from 2005,
2005.
burglary of dwelling from 2009, carrying concealed firearms 2009, disorderly intoxication 2016, false 911 call 2016, petty theft 2016, battery 2016.
Your Honor,
Yep.
can I ask a question?
Sure can.
I heard us say 2005. That's my juvenile record.
Okay. You think I don't get to know about that?
Oh, no, I'm not saying, no,
Okay.
no, I'm just wondering if, okay, go ahead.
I know how folks feel about their juvenile record, but it's all important to me in making a bond decision, and I like to know, when things
Understand,
started,
Your Honor.
and where we went, and so on and so forth. All right.
sir.
And the address I have is it Giles Avenue in Spring Hill?
Yes, sir.
How long you been there?
A little bit over 6 months.
All right. And that's where Mariel lives as well?
Yes, sir.
You have a job these days?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
I work for David Price Construction.
Okay. Okay. All right. On this one, Darrell, I'm going to set the bond at $2,000. Condition of the bond is that you have no contact with Mariel. Did you hear me explain no contact earlier?
Yes, sir.
And you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This case will be coming back to court on the 26th of October. The other thing that's going on, of course, is that you have an open case in front of me, driving on a suspended license. Job number one when you've got an open case is don't pick up a new charge. It appears to me that you have. So pursuant to Florida Statute 903.0471, I'm going to revoke your pretrial release on the driving on suspended charge. I'm going to hold you at the jail until the 9th, which I think is next Tuesday. That's when you'll be back in front of me. My guess is, Darrell, that at that point we'll resolve your driving on a suspended charge, and then you'll be able to bond out on this one if that's what you want to do. PD will come see you before we go to court on the battery charge, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Adam Geddes. Want to start with your date of birth?
2/24/65.
Adam, I got a warrant for you out of Hillsborough County. The judge that signed that warrant found probable cause for a violation of probation and set your bond at no bond. I can't change that. We're going to notify the folks in Hillsborough that you're here and ready to go. I'll give them 5 days to come and get you. If you are still here for some strange reason in 5 days, they'll bring you back to see me, and I'll find out what the holdup is, all right?
Yes.
Thank you.